Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of Faith and Society, or we can call it Christianity and Politics. My name is Tensai, and today we're diving into a topic that's both timely and challenging: Christianity and politics in the United States. Specifically, we'll be talking about the role Christians should play in politics and how our faith can guide us towards supporting leaders who govern with justice and fairness, regardless of their political affiliation. This is a topic that stirs a lot of strong opinion, but as a Christian, we need to approach it with wisdom and, most importantly, with our eyes fixed on Christ's teachings. So let's get into it. As Christians, we know that our faith shapes how we live in the world, and that includes how we engage with politics. Many of us believe that we have a responsibility to participate in politics because it's a way to influence governance and promote the common good. But the big question is, how should we engage in politics? Should we align ourselves with a particular political party, or is there a different approach that better reflects our faith? The answer, I believe, lies somewhere beyond the typical political boundaries. While it's important for Christians to be involved, we need to be careful that our faith doesn't get tied to any one political party. Instead of being driven by a party loyalty, we should focus on supporting candidates who will bring about good governance for all people, those who promote justice, fairness, and compassion. These are core biblical values, and they should guide our decision in the voting booths and in political discussions. One of the most powerful biblical principles that can shape our thinking on this comes from Matthew 5:45, where Jesus said, "For he makes his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust." This verse reminds us that God's goodness and justice are universal. They extend to everyone, whether they are believers or not. And as Christians, we are called to follow this example. We should seek our leaders who will govern impartially and justly, not just for benefit of our own community, but for the benefit of all people. Now, let's talk about how this plays out in real life. Politics in the US is deeply polarized. People often feel they have to choose sides and be loyal to one political party or the other. And it's easy to see why. Each party presents its platform as the best or only way to address the country's problems. But as Christians, we need to rise above that partisanship. We need to be discerning and look at candidates not based on their letter next to their name, whether it's an R or a D, but based on their character and their commitment to justice and common good. I think it's important to stress that the candidate we support don't necessarily need to be Christian. Sure, it's great to have Christian leaders who can bring a faith-based perspective into the governance process. After all, a good Christian leader, someone who genuinely follows the teaching of Christ, will ideally lead with fairness and integrity, showing care and concern for all, whether they are believers or not. But we shouldn't make the mistake assuming that only Christians can govern well. There are many leaders from diverse background and faith who embody biblical principles like justice, mercy, and humility in their leadership. Our goal should be to support leaders who reflect these values, regardless of their personal religious beliefs. Here's a crucial point. We shouldn't just blindly follow political parties or popular trends. Partisan politics can be really blinding. It can make us ignore the flaws within our preferred parties or candidates just because we feel loyal to that side. And we will ignore the wolves wearing a sheep clothing. But as Christians, our loyalty should first and foremost be to God's commandments. That means supporting candidates who align with the principle of justice, fairness, and compassion, even if they don't check every single political box we are used to. Take a moment to think about the issue that matters most to you. Are they rooted in biblical values? Are they issues that promote the common good for everyone, not just for Christians? These are the kinds of questions we need to ask ourselves as we engage in the political process. In the end, our political involvement as Christians should be about promoting a society that reflects godly principles. The Bible constantly calls us to seek justice, love, mercy, and walk humbly with God. That's the kind of leadership we should be striving to support. Leaders who embody those values, whether they identify as Christians or not. Matthew 5:45 teaches us that God's grace and justice are given to everyone, and we should be seeking our leaders who extend that same fairness to all, governing with wisdom, compassion, and integrity. So as we navigate the political landscape, let's remember that our ultimate alliance is to God's kingdom, not to any political party. Let's use our influence wisely and seek our leaders who will serve with righteousness, promoting good governance for all. That's all for today's episode of Faith Info Society or Christianity and Politics. I hope this discussion gave you something to think about as we continue engaging with politics from a place of faith. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to share it with your friends. Until next time, I'm Tensai reminding you to keep your faith at the center of everything you do, including your politics.